All right, thanks for joining us today. We'll be starting the presentation in our webinar here in about 2 minutes to ensure all registered attendees can log in and join us. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Allie Coiler and I'm the marketing coordinator here at Data Group. We're excited to share our thoughts on analytical communities of excellence, data governance best practices, and the impact they can have on your organization. We're going to share an agenda here today, so please note that we do have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, so any questions that you may have can be directed to the comment section on the right-hand side, and we'll get to those at the end of the session today. Let me please introduce Jason Fishbain. So Jason is going to be leading our session today, and Jason is our data governance practice lead at Data Group and has collaborated with organizations and clients on their data strategy and governance needs for nearly 15 years. So welcome, Jason, and we're very excited to be discussing this with you today. If you're new to Data Group, please let me make a quick introduction as well. We work alongside our clients to build data communities with the Snowflake Data Cloud as the foundation. Based out of Madison, Wisconsin, we designed the third wave consulting model that provides you data with data analytics and AI ML expertise where you need it in a scalable, flexible, and subscription-based approach. If you're looking for more resources on Data Group, I'm happy to share those with our attendees in future communication as well. And with that, I'm going to now hand things over to Jason, who will kind of run with our session from here.
Thanks, Allie. Appreciate it. Allie gave me a nice introduction, so I won't go through that anymore. Very much appreciate that. We wanted to do something a little bit different than other webinars, at least that I've been a part of. Rather than having me just run through slides and talk about them, we actually used AI to generate a video, and we're going to play that video for you now. There's method to our madness. We did it for specific reasons, which I will tie back together then after the video. But the video really talks about the power of Analytical Community of Excellence and how we, Data Group, think about it and how we can ultimately help you implement it at your organization. So with that, we can launch the video.
Are you aware of the power an Analytical Community of Excellence, or ACE, holds for the future of your organization? It's an intriguing concept, one that promises to revolutionize the way businesses operate and make decisions. But what are the tangible benefits of establishing an ACE in your organization? Primarily, an Analytical Community of Excellence, or ACE, can be the driving force behind the transformation of an organization's culture. It enables a shift from a traditional, instinct-driven approach to a more informed, data-driven decision-making process. This change is not just about using data and analytics at the top levels of the organization, but integrating them at every level, from strategic planning to daily operations. Imagine a team meeting where instead of relying on gut feelings or personal experiences, everyone comes armed with concrete data and insights to back up their suggestions and decisions. The use of data becomes the norm, not the exception. This creates an environment where decisions are made more efficiently and effectively, with greater transparency and accountability. Moreover, such a culture encourages curiosity and exploration, fostering innovation. Employees are not just consumers of data, but active participants in its creation, analysis, and interpretation. This shift towards a data-driven culture, facilitated by an ACE, can have profound impacts on the operational excellence and competitive advantage of your organization. Moving on from our discussion on cultivating a data-centric environment, we now shift our focus to another pivotal aspect of an Analytical Community of Excellence, or ACE, steering technology requirements. In today's rapidly changing digital world, embracing and incorporating novel technologies is vital to stay in the competitive race. But making decisions about which technologies to invest in and how to implement them can seem overwhelming. This is where an ACE steps in. With a diverse team of experts participating in its operation, an ACE can proficiently evaluate the technological needs of the organization, spot shortcomings in the current technology infrastructure, and suggest fitting solutions. Be it a requirement for sophisticated analytics tools, cloud-based data storage, or AI-powered data processing methods, an ACE can assist in prioritizing and directing technology investments. Additionally, an ACE can aid in the integration of these emerging technologies into prevailing workflows and procedures. It ensures that the technology is not just procured but effectively leveraged to its utmost potential, aligning it with the organization's strategic objectives. Essentially, an ACE serves as a liaison between the technical and non-technical stakeholders, making certain that technology investments are strategic, well executed, and produce the expected results. Thus, an ACE is not merely about nurturing a data-centric culture, but it's also about steering the technology requirements that support these initiatives. As we progress in our exploration of the Analytical Community of Excellence, or ACE, we've observed its significant influence on technological needs. Now, we will shed light on another indispensable function: how an ACE augments the return on investment from corporate data by advancing the skills of the analytical community. In this era of digital transformation, data is not just a valuable asset, it's a competitive weapon when skillfully utilized. However, merely accumulating and storing data is just the first step. It is essential to invest in the right technologies, practices, and most importantly, in nurturing the analytical talent to explore and exploit this data. Here, an ACE assumes a pivotal role. An ACE ensures that your data investment is not wasted on inefficient processes or obsolete technology, but is meticulously directed into training, knowledge sharing, and implementing best practices. It assists in identifying the most potent data sources, selecting the right analytical tools, and cultivating data management practices. It ensures that data is not merely collected, but also converted into actionable insights that drive strategic decision-making. By optimizing workflows, integrating new technologies, and standardizing policies, an ACE assures maximum value from your investment. It aids in transforming your data into a wellspring of insights, delivering an excellent return on your data investment. To put it succinctly, an ACE is not just about promoting technology. It's about guaranteeing a significant return on every dollar spent on data by fostering the skills of the analytical community. If you're aspiring to maximize your data investment, establishing an ACE is the best strategy. Now, let's talk about how an Analytical Community of Excellence can facilitate the operation of your organization's data governance program. One of the pillars of an effective data governance program is creating policies and standards. This pillar forms the backbone of an effective data governance program, and its importance cannot be overstated. Policies and standards are the guiding principles that dictate how data is collected, stored, processed, distributed, and disposed of within an organization. They also set the rules for the use of metadata in analytics. This is where an Analytical Community of Excellence, or ACE, steps in. By bringing together the right minds, an ACE can evaluate and approve the best practices for analytics development and metadata utilization. Whether it's the use of a software like data.world for capturing metadata or implementing a new data validation technique, an ACE ensures that your organization's data management practices are top-notch. Moreover, an ACE plays a crucial role in managing data assets effectively. It ensures your organization's data is accurate, complete, consistent, and up-to-date, a critical factor for informed business decision-making. In essence, an Analytical Community of Excellence can form the necessary apparatus to monitor and enforce the regulations and procedures of your data governance program. This, in turn, will lead to increased operational efficiency and better compliance with regulations. Let's dive into another crucial aspect that an Analytical Community of Excellence, or ACE, brings to the table: ensuring information quality. Quality of information is pivotal for data integrity, security, and understanding. An ACE, through its collaboration, its commitment to best practices and continuous improvement, aids in improving the quality of your organization's data. It can set and monitor KPIs relating to data accuracy and completeness. It should promote the use of comprehensive metadata. A role of an ACE is to reduce errors and inconsistencies in data, thus improving its reliability and value. An ACE also should determine and make transparent, consistent business definitions throughout your organization for improved data understanding and utilization. In essence, an ACE not only secures the integrity of data but also its usability and accessibility, significantly enhancing its value for decision-making processes. As a result, we see a boost in data quality, operational efficiency, and better understand of what is being measured. Establishing an ACE will greatly enhance the quality of your organization's data, turning it into a genuine asset. Stay tuned as we explore how an ACE can assist with complying with privacy requirements. Building on the significance of information quality, we now venture into the third pillar of data governance and how an Analytical Community of Excellence can assist in its implementation: training on security measures, and understanding data privacy regulations. A key focus of any security program is ensuring users comprehend data protection and privacy regulations. An ACE doesn't just deliver quality information but serves as the backbone for data protection education. It can assist in delivering user training regarding privacy and security standards, playing a crucial role in lowering an organization's risk profile. Moreover, an ACE cultivates a culture of transparency, an essential component in boosting employee trust of information. At its core, an ACE fosters collaboration and understanding, which in this context can lead to your organization's compliance with privacy regulations. Data stewards, who should also be members of an ACE, can utilize software packages like Satori to mask sensitive and private data, adding another layer of mitigating risk. Stay with us as we turn to how an ACE assists in implementing the fourth data governance pillar: architecture and integration. An Analytical Community of Excellence can leverage modern tools for effective data architecture and integration, such as the use of Snowflake, a popular modern database package. As we strive to create a robust and scalable architecture, we understand that integrating diverse data is a crucial aspect. Snowflake, a cloud-based data platform, excels in this area. It is designed to handle vast amounts of data from various sources seamlessly, acting as a conduit for a smooth data flow. An ACE can harness Snowflake's capabilities to amalgamate disparate data sources effectively, preserving data integrity and quality. It enables the consolidation of structured and semi-structured data, providing a unified, comprehensive view of your data landscape. So, in essence, an ACE can leverage Snowflake's powerful capabilities to create a secure, integrated, and scalable data architecture, driving your organization towards a data-driven future. As we continue, you will witness how an ACE fosters the adoption of new technologies, ensuring your organization's competitiveness in the digital era. Stay tuned. Now that we've discussed the benefits of an ACE, let's talk about how Pandata Group can help your organization implement one. With years of experience under our belt, Pandata Group has become a powerhouse in the field of data management and analytics. We have a deep understanding of the complexities and challenges involved in setting up an Analytical Community of Excellence. Partnering with Pandata Group in your ACE journey ensures that you have a guide who knows the terrain. We are committed to helping your organization set up an ACE that truly delivers on its promises. From the initial stages of understanding your organization's unique needs to implementing data governance policies and standards, we are with you every step of the way. The benefits of partnering with Pandata Group are immense. We not only help you set up an ACE, but we also ensure that it is a perfect fit for your organization. We guide your team through the change management process, ensure privacy, security, and compliance, and help you leverage technology for effective data architecture and integration. With Pandata Group, setting up an ACE becomes a seamless and rewarding process. So let's get started on your journey towards data excellence. In summary, an analytical community of excellence brings about a multitude of benefits for your organization. It facilitates the implementation of a data governance program, drives organizational change towards more informed decision-making, pushes the requirements for new technology, and achieves a higher return on investment in corporate data. So, the question isn't whether your organization needs an ACE, it's how quickly can you establish one. Because in a world where data is king, an analytical community of excellence is the castle from which you rule.
Okay, so as I said before the video, we did this on purpose. Use this as an example. We could have just put together a bunch of slides and presented them as part of this. But one of the things that we do at Pandata is we kind of practice what we preach, and we created a community of excellence around the use of AI in assisting us in creating presentations, taking the data from webinars and using it, things like that. The text you just heard in that video, 90% of it was AI generated. And so part of what we learned as we developed our ACE for this effort was how to prompt the AI tool to develop the script. And prompting it in different ways produced different versions of the script. And ultimately, we landed on the one that you saw today. We had to go through and choose specific tools to use for this webinar. And integrate content and data from those tools together to create this webinar. And our ACE did that as well. And now for Pandata, we've started to set best practices and standards on the use of AI for creating content to be used in a marketing fashion. We will also set best practices and standards for taking the data that comes out of the webinar and how we choose to use it. And if we think about this kind of how we took this set of tools and created this webinar and this initiative, we are now starting to increase the skill sets that our group has around the use of AI. Like I said, in prompting it to create scripts, in how to use the tool to edit the script. Some of the slides that you saw as it was moved through the video, we inserted into the video how to do that. We can turn around now and train others in the organization on how to use the tools and how to use AI to help us generate that. So we really use this as a real life example in informing a community of excellence in order to make this webinar happen. As if we start getting into summarizing a little bit more an ACE in terms of how it helps with data governance, and we think about the 4 different pillars of data governance. One of the pillars is, security and privacy and compliance. So there is data coming out of this webinar, and the ACE will help folks determine who should have access to that information, right? Is it just our marketing department? Are there others that were involved in the creation of this presentation that has access to the data that comes out of this webinar? Things along those lines. As I said before, we've now started to create standards on the use of the tools, and those will be made known to others in the organization as they start to use the tool to create other webinars or to do other things using the AI tools that we now have as part of our organization. As it was going along, the webinar was going along, there were parts of the text and parts of the script that, maybe seemed a little bit wonky or choppy, right? And so we've now, have a method of being able to identify, quote unquote, not the greatest quality for content, and we now know how to fix that. There were other places in the script where we've gone and we had modified it, right? And so information quality and content quality was part of this. Training. So we could now use this video as a training tool for others in our organization. This, like I said, for us, going through and creating this webinar was kind of a, meta, if you will, for creating a community of excellence and how to utilize it as you go forward in your organization, and thinking about the ways that you can both collect data, curate content to help analyze data, and ultimately, achieve whatever business goal you're trying to achieve. We've created analytical communities of excellence in multiple industries. We Data Group, in manufacturing and higher education and healthcare, and we found that it's very beneficial, and you achieve a higher level of satisfaction and a higher level of usage of information within the organization by creating an analytical community of excellence. And with that, I will turn it back to Allie.
Yeah, so this would definitely be the time where if you have any questions, please direct them to the comments section. Here, so I'll just give everyone just a few minutes. For the sake of extending our conversation and diving deeper into these concepts, I can definitely prompt some questions as well, Jason. What would you say are the first steps that should be taken to implement an ACE within an organization?
Sure. I think what typically you don't want to, and this is true of any type of larger initiative, you don't want to start with a big bang, and try to get everything all at once, right? So it really helps to pick a business case or a use case that has high impact, but maybe isn't an initiative that's going to take 6, 9, 12 months. So start with something that makes sense for your organization. You want to make sure that you have the right people involved from the start. So a lot of times, for example, marketing isn't thought of as a department that should join an analytical community of excellence, unless you're talking about marketing data specifically. And a lot of times having someone from marketing at the table can help, because they can help think about how you roll out new analytical initiatives within your organization, right? So getting the right people involved makes sense. And then making sure that you learn from each initiative that you try to roll out. So what are your success metrics? You want to define those, as you start your initiative, so that we did this well, we achieved this. Oh, maybe this one we didn't do so well on. How are we going to improve on it the next time?
Awesome. Are you seeing AI actively being used for analytical purposes currently or within different organizations?
I got distracted by some of the things that were
Some of
coming
the
in the
comments, we
chat.
can
Yeah,
move it.
I'm sorry.
We can definitely move one of those as well.
Yep. Nope. Allie, say it one more time real quick.
Are you actively seeing AI
AI. Yep.
being used in
So it's
financial
interesting.
purposes?
Yep, I got you. It's interesting. I think people are still at the very initial outset of using AI. There's certainly a lot of question around what the ethical side of using AI in getting into in-depth analysis. People are still ramping up, and there's a huge learning curve, right? So people aren't as the infrastructure isn't there in a lot of organizations, and people aren't, they aren't used to using the tool as of yet, right? But I do know of organizations that are starting it, and they're starting it small and they're picking the cases that make sense for them in order to see the capabilities of it. So
Yeah. You can
should I
direct
just
attention to one of the ones in the comments here.
Yep. So one of the kind of when you have helped create an ACE in industries such as healthcare and education, have you involved users, patients, parents, etc.? It's a great question. So one of the examples in healthcare we were involved in, we took patient satisfaction data. And we were using that as one of the data sources for how we were judging success for that healthcare organization. I don't know that we would necessarily use patients as part of the ACE itself, but certainly data coming from patients or parents. And I think that can be valuable, again, depending on what your success metrics are. Or what you're trying to achieve with your analytics there. But certainly users from multiple departments, not just IT or the business analytic department, but again, if I'm using healthcare as the example, in ambulatory, in orthopedics, in the heart center, etc. Trying to get people involved in those. In education at higher ed, at use University of Wisconsin as an example, we actually did have students that were part of our Analytical Community of Excellence, and they were involved in discussions around what should student performance data be used for or not be used for, and they were a voice there. And then there's another question.
Yep.
What methods do you use for data integration and synchronization? I mean, we could spend a whole hour talking about that, right? I guess what I would say is this: there is a tool that makes sense for the organization and the use case that you are involved in. To just say I'm going to use R across the board as an example may not be the best choice, right? So I think part of setting up a community of excellence is understanding the requirements needed in your organization for what you're trying to achieve, and then using those requirements to drive what tools are being used or what methods are being used. I am not an AI programmer per se, or not programmer, but I'm not going to be an AI prompt engineer. I'm not a statistical programmer. I know enough to ask questions, right? So I can't comment on the specific integration methods that might be used with different environments, different tools, other than I know how to drive the requirements, and I know how to then help folks come up with the answers necessary to then say, oh, well, then maybe this tool makes sense, right? So.
Yeah, those were great questions. Thank you for adding those to our adding those to our webinar. If anyone else has any questions, please direct them to the comments section as well. Awesome. The only other thing that I would maybe ask you, Jason, would be, the different tools that were mentioned, and kind of some of our partner technologies that were mentioned within the Power of ACE video here. I mentioned Snowflake and Data.World and Satori. Would you like to expand on any of those tools or how those are used within an ACE and maintaining data governance within organizations as well?
Sure. I mean, full transparency, right? We work with certain vendors, and those are the ones that were mentioned in the video. Not that we haven't worked with others, but we're partners with those. So certainly, again, if your organization is not fully moved to a cloud-based architecture and is looking at a cloud-based data platform, Snowflake is one, AWS is one, right? And we've worked with Azure is one, right? And we've worked with multiple of them. And again, it comes back to what are the requirements for your organization? We certainly, again, because we're partners, we have a lot of use cases and information on why Snowflake we think works in a good number of cases. It may not be the best for all cases, but that we've seen it be successful in many architectures. Data.World is a tool that can be used to help metadata management, to help build a business glossary. But there are others, right? And so it, again, depends on your environment and what other tools you may have in your environment. There's not a one size fits all. Part of the creating a community of excellence, though, like I said, is understanding what makes sense for your organization and having the right discussions with the right people. So IT isn't just building something or implementing something out of the box, but it's getting input from people across the organization and what really should work for your organization.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I think we can probably move into just any closing remarks you would like to provide our attendees. Otherwise, we can definitely wrap up and give some time back.
Yeah, we very much believe in the power of community in order to best utilize data and best utilize technology around the use of data. And for us, we call it Analytical Community of Excellence. I've heard it called other things in other organizations, but the concept is the same. Let's get the right people involved in the discussion so that one department, whether it's IT or finance or operations, isn't implementing anything, in a silo. And by building this community, and it's an ongoing community, that you foster collaboration between departments, and you hopefully then achieve a better return on investment in the use of your enterprise information. When you use AI, I'm looking at this comment that Mark just asked again. When you use data, it doesn't seem as you actually save time and resources. Yes. Like I said, 90% of the script was AI generated. So certainly had to listen to it a couple different times. But to try to actually write that out, it was an 11-minute video, I think, would have taken many more man hours than the 30 seconds that the tool took to create it. And the first draft literally was 30 seconds. We spent a little bit more time in this effort than probably we needed to, but that was more to learn and put the tools through its paces and not just creating the script. That I think was beneficial for Pandata, right? Is understanding, well, if you use this prompt, you're going to get a different response than if you use this prompt, and understanding what those differences were. So certainly editing and thinking about that piece of it was different. So I don't know that, the last part of your question, did we just replace a technical writer? I don't know that we replaced a function as much as we changed the function, right? So it really became a prompting function and not a writing function. And learning how to do that in this specific case, right? That's how I would answer that, Mark. And I would say the same thing if you bring it across the parallel to analytics, right? It's maybe as the use of AI matures and becomes more prevalent in analytics, it's not so much maybe that people are writing their own SQL, as an example. It's people are learning how to either organize data to submit to AI to be analyzed, or people are learning how to ask AI the questions in order to get the answers that they're looking for, right? And that's a little bit of a, maybe a shift in mindset a little bit, or a shift in technical skills a little bit.
Thank you for the question, Mark. It was a good one. Okay. Yeah, I think we can definitely kind of wrap things up a little bit. If there are more questions, please reach out to myself or Jason. I can provide those contacts and resources through our communications here. But thank you for attending today's webinar, and thank you, Jason, for sharing how to ACE data governance. We covered a lot of information and appreciate your attendance and engagement. A recording of the video of today's conversation will be shared with those who attended, as well as anyone who registered and was unable to attend. So please keep an eye out for that to come your way. But thanks again to everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day. And I see Rowan here. We'll review that question, and we'll give you an answer to that one as well. Okay, but we're going to close out today. So thank you.
Thanks.